peace or violence. So we need to encourage such debates, and these debates should be multidisciplinary, because ICT should have a lot of a balanced dimension. Agriculture has been typically left to women, except that when it is becoming mechanized, men come in, and usually men come in when it is harvesting time. And that's why they become very, very active, especially the selling aspect. I agree with Dr. Kwagala that gender-based violence is as old as human history. She has given many references in the Bible about the one-sidedness in decision-making and so many things, how women were sidelined in the Bible. But allow me to give you also two examples of gender-based violence in the Bible. Only that this time around, it was women who was harassing men. One of them was in Egypt. You remember when Moses was harassed? Some of you are reading the Bible. I think it was Joseph. It was Joseph who was harassed by a queen, to an extent that she wanted to put him in prison for refusing to fall in for her. Then the other example was Samson was influenced by a woman to commit a big mistake, which led to his downfall. So both sides of gender have been written about in the Bible, so meaning that it is as old as human being, but this is not to condone it. Our purpose here, when we do research like she has devised, is to reduce or even to eradicate gender-based violence. Now, when it comes to the university setting, okay, we have been discussing so much about lecturers who are male, trying to force themselves into relationship with women, but also there are cases where lady lecturers can be harassed by their bosses, isn't it? Maybe here they are not there and in danger, but in some areas it could be. Maybe to renew the contract, to do this, must do this, some sweepers. And we have a case, unfortunately, whereby we had to intervene and put somebody on suspension because it was alleged, okay, we didn't suspend, but we put him aside to investigate. It was alleged that this person was trying to influence to a female subordinate to give in for sex, and she reported, and then we started the investigations. And the investigations have not yet been concluded. So the cases are there. Staff, students, vis-a-vis lecturers, and this is something that we need to fight. It is so unfortunate that a girl will fall victim to sex from marks, particularly when she's deliberately failed in either coursework or examinations, the other lecturer knowing that she will come back to plead or she will come to complain to do this, and then force that person into sexual relationship. I'm calling it very unfortunate because whereas in some cases women, girls also provoke these lecturers directly, like he has told us, the biggest cases are lecturers initiating these relationships. But what we usually forget, what they usually forget, that when a student comes to the university and gets admitted, there's what we call a social contract between the girl, the student, and the university. The contract goes like this, that she's going to study and pay fees in the paying universities. And the fees which is being paid is deemed to be equivalent to the services she's going to get. Isn't it? So that she's paying the equivalent of what she's going to get. The same applies to a boy student. He pays the fees equivalent to the services that he's expecting to get from the university. So the university makes a social contract with this student that you give us this money, do this and this and this. On our part, we are going to do A, B, C, D, and F. So when a lecturer comes in to demand for sex from a girl, he's demanding more than the girl had expected. Because the girl is fulfilling her side of the bargain, paying the fees, doing this, doing coursework, all of those things. But the lecturer is demanding more. So the woman is being exploited. And this is something that we need to fight with all our strengths. Although maybe in some cases we could be having some cases of boys being, you never know, harassed by female lecturers, you never know. But in case that happens, there are rare cases. It's usually mainly. So we need to add our forces together, all of us. It's not only women who lose out of this. If the device grows, if this device grows, today I could be a harasser, but my daughter is growing up. Isn't it? If I allow this device to grow, my daughter is going to face it squarely. So the earlier I start fighting it, the better. So when my daughter comes to the university, the thing has been improved and the situation has been calmed down. So do we have institutional frameworks? Do we have policies, say in Indeja University, which could help to reduce this vice of sexual harassment, especially the girls? We have what we call the Quality Assurance Directorate in this university. Now, what we did was we introduced a hotline. And almost every year, we have been inviting the guilty officers, several. Only that maybe of late, 3 to 2 years ago, we did, because of COVID and other disturbances, the vibrance reduced a bit. But there is a system whereby we invite the guild, first of all, for an orientation on that matter. The quality assurance director meets the guilty officers to talk about many things, and one of them, sexual harassment. Then a hotline is issued. Now, usually we might say that maybe some girls or some boys might fear the dean's office. But when you give a hotline, the message goes straight. And the person who receives is a woman. Our quality assurance director is a woman currently. But even if we got a man, we would make sure that the hotlines would go to both men and women. So when you go back, tell your guilty officers that they should spread this message. That we have a hotline. If there's an attempt on this and this and this, just call. Like Madame told us, usually we do not act immediately because sometimes it will be a false accusation. So we use that as a startup point for investigation. And eventually we'll get to the truth. So we first investigate, and then later we. Then the other thing that we need to do is to do orientation of freshers. Unfortunately, sometimes the time is not enough. It's so squeezed. But there are some people, particularly people who come from single-sex schools. A girl has been in a single-sex school from P1 up to senior 6. That girl is likely to be harassed by so many people, including fellow students, because she doesn't know about many behavior. So they take advantage. So during orientation, people need to be told about what happens in universities. What happens? So that is one of them. And also public speaking, like we have done today. And in the future, I think debates like this should be, we shall do them to bigger audiences within the university. And also, we can help community, like somebody suggested that we can also go out and help communities outside to talk about these issues, public debates. But what we are having today is a form of an outreach, because many people are now watching us on TV and maybe they can benefit from our debates. But we shall deliberately make it a point that we go out to communities to make sure that people are sensitized about what to do. I'd like to agree with a speaker who talked about one-sidedness of gender-based whatever. There's an issue of dress code, which was talked about by, I think, Primrose. Many people who are advocates of gender-based violence would say that a woman should be free to dress the way she wants. I think maybe there's a partly true, but partly not. Right. Now we all know that practically, the way a woman dresses may affect some men. That one is a fact, we cannot dispute it. Or some men or all men. So, that one is scientifically proven. It is a fact that we cannot dispute. Now, if we go on saying that women could continue dressing the way they want, they will be ending up harassing men. Yes. Because God created our features deliberately. That's why a man doesn't look like a woman. A woman looks very attractive physically. An average woman. And the way the body of the woman was created physically was to do that, attract attention of men. So, as man went on civilizing, came up with institutions like dressing well, doing this, that in certain times you can dress well, but when you are going to the beach or to the swimming pool, you dress like in a swimming, that whatever, a costume, because whoever has gone to the swimming pool is prepared for that. So, and very few people, swimmers, would be offended because they went there expecting that. But if we are in a formal institution, formal hours, we should just try to respect the institution and respect each other. And then reduce the likelihood of getting some people tempted, reducing the likelihood, helping each other. So this debate shouldn't be pushed away into the dustbin of the dress code. It's the reality. It's not something sentimental. It is physically true. And we cannot do without it. So what can we do? We need to speak out, openly talk about about gender-based violence, and do outreach, do a lot of debates, and support each other. We need to support each other in this. I'll give you a very unfortunate experience I have. I was in an office sometime, I will not tell which university, and a lady's auntie, mother, came and complained that her daughter was being harassed by a lecturer. And I got a testimony from the daughter herself. And this lecturer had requested this lady to go and meet him in a certain hotel somewhere. And the girl felt that he had no choice because she wanted the marks. So when I was told, I decided that I should lay a trap for this lecturer so that I get him red-handed. So I contacted the police, and I got the police women to help, and they were very, very cooperative. Unfortunately, the whole thing had been, the whole trap was laid, waiting to catch the play. Unfortunately, this lecturer was tipped off by a woman. We had been laying the trap, not only me, but I used it someone. I just thought that when I partner with some other women, they will support the cause. So I involved. But the man was tipped and didn't go there. He had even started moving, but when he was tipped, the whole thing stopped. So in some cases, women need to be very supportive, and men need to be very supportive of this, because it's not only affecting women, like I said, it affects all of us. So we need to be very cooperative, and like our speaker said, the name of the university is always at stake when such stories go out. That they do this, they do this, they do this. It's not good that somebody gets a first class. In that university, people can get a first class because he has done this and this and this. It's not a very good thing. Our reputation will be down. I would like to thank Primrose for organizing this. She has been organizing so many projects ever since she came to the university. The office of the director of research has been very busy. And we want to thank you very much. The university survives out of engagement in projects, in research, in community outreach. That's what the meaning of a university. Not only teaching. And these rankings, the university is ranked according to those. Research, output, publication, projects, community outreach programs. I want to request all of you, including students, however small your writing could be, just send it to the directorate it could have a meaning. You might think that's not big, but it will be big so that we practically help our society to grow. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you so much, DVC. Can we now, we are going to be civil, so we are going to use 2 minutes of appreciation, right? So I mention a name, I don't need to say much about that person, but if I have anything to say anyway, I have a right to say, right? But in 30 seconds. Allow me to appreciate the DVC for sparing time to attend this. It means a lot to us as a directorate, but to O3+, it's an honor to have you, sir. So please continue supporting us. We need you. And together with the top administration, we can push the things to where they are supposed to be. So like when you hear me pausing, you clap. Allow me to thank Mama ARM, Dr. Wanda. She really, really wanted to attend this. Since morning, she has been communicating. Primus, can I come? Is it yet time? I wonder whether she was concentrating on whatever she was doing, because half of her was making sure